Okay, we'll give everybody a chance to sign on here while we're getting everything adjusted and together. Oop. We'll give everyone a chance to sign on here. Sorry about that. Those wood floors really make a loud noise. So welcome, Jeff. Welcome, Roland. Big day in the market today. Big day in the market today. And as always, while we're letting people sign on, read the disclaimer. Past performance is no indicator of future performance. We are not registered investment advisors. Nothing on this show is an offer to buy or sell any security options or anything like that. Okay, we do sell a subscription service. Yeah, we made it through the hurricane, Jeff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Big day in the markets today, right? Nasdaq broke 8,000. Wow, man. I remember a time back in maybe 2000 when people were happy to see the Nasdaq at 3,000. What a difference it's been, huh? So let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, the Nasdaq got it to an all-time high today, broke 8,000, closed out pretty good. Let's take a look at the numbers real quick because the Dow broke 2,600, and the media loves the Dow breaking 2,600, but I think the big thing was that the S&P got close, but it failed at 2,900. So your broad index, your S&P 500, which is really more indicative of the market than anything else, couldn't get over that hump. So is that a good sign, bad sign? Is it getting ready? Is it getting its energy ready? Hard to tell. You would have liked to see all three markets in unison today, but the S&P still had a great day. It was up 22 points, which is about 0.75%. The Dow almost up a full percent, up 255 points, and it closed over that 2,600 level. That's nice. And the Nasdaq's a big story of the day, up a whopping 71 points, almost a full percent. Yes, missed a full percent, but closed nice and strong over that 8,000 level. And that's important, These intraday highs are really, really fun, and they're great fodder for the news shows and stuff like that. But technically, it doesn't matter until you get a close. And getting a close at 8,000 is really, really a good thing, right? So we went short. We think this market's overextended. That's 7 out of 8 up days for the Nasdaq. That's a push to an all-time high. Really a level that was fantasy 5-10 years ago. And it took it out today. And the reason it took it out today was that, that Trump got his first trade deal. Hey, we've been talking about it for the last 2-3 weeks. At some point, he is going to get a breakthrough with this. And it finally came today. He's got a deal on the board with Mexico. They're going to go and bring Canada to the board now. But this puts a lot of pressure on Canada, right? Because if Canada doesn't come to the table and make a deal, it makes them kind of look like they're the ones that are trying to that aren't playing ball, that aren't interested in global growth or fairness and trade and things like that. So it's interesting how the tables kind of turned on that. It's an interesting part of this trade thing too, because with Trump getting this Mexico deal, there's a reality now to what he's doing with trade, right? I mean, before it was just all this anti-Trump stuff where he's blowing up trade, he's ruining global partnerships, he's pissing off the world, everybody hates us, we're ruining everything. Trump. If it was bad, it was Trump. If it was worse, it was even more Trump. But, he got this deal with Mexico, and he's content with the deal. And we haven't read the whole deal yet, and we'll kind of fill you in on it. I mean, it's hard to tell until we see the deal. But this is a good first step, and it's a first step that I think a lot of people didn't think he could take. So it's an important step. Like I said, this brings reality to a situation that a lot of people thought was unrealistic. He's got the Mexico deal down. And really, I mean, if you look at it a few months back, Wasn't it Mexico that was supposed to be the big problem? Remember when he was threatening to shut down NAFTA, and the Mexican president was threatening him, and he was threatening the Mexican president, and there's all this back and forth about walls and trade tariffs and stuff like that, fun stuff. Anyways, you got that deal down. I think Canada is a more passive. Their leadership is more of a passive, weak leadership with Justin Trudeau. He's more of a virtue signaler than anything else. So I think he's going to he's going to be like the patsy at the table. He's just going to do what he's told. So we'll see how this rolls into the China deal, right? Because China, we've got the ministers meeting towards the end of this month, which should be any day right now, right? It's the 27th already. And then Trump and Xi are trying to set up a meeting. So let's see how this rolls into China. If he can get China, that's massive. You might see what these guys are talking about with a Nasdaq 10,000 and things like that. But we think for right now that the Nasdaq's a little bit oversold right now. So we went short on it. We also took up a short in Twitter today, in case you guys are wondering what we're playing. We went short in Twitter. Twitter had a great day today, but we don't think the value is correct. And we think that this is just kind of a euphoric buying. You know what I mean? Twitter's been kind of beaten down ever since it hit that $40 level. It's just been in the tank, and now it's starting to get a little life. We see it as a good short. We shorted it into strength, and we shorted the Q into strength. So we're still long gold. Gold had another good day today. Spot gold is just kind of cranking along. We're still long AINV. It's kind of at that 570 range. We're in those $6 calls, and we're still long AKS on the steel side. We own shares of X, so we don't really play the options that often. Plus, they're rough to play because the premiums are kind of weird, and it's I'm going to put that one up right now. The whole X, it's so hard to find good premiums in the right contract because it's such a helter-skelter stock. So we went with something a little more calm, and that's the AKS. And these are all starting to come around now. We've been talking about these for, 2-3 weeks. We've been setting up these positions, all based on Trump being able to overcome these hurdles. Well, guess what? President Trump came through, and now the stocks are starting to follow. For a guy like you, Jeff, you stick with steel, man. Steel is for real. And just like I Love Investing just said, Viva America, God bless America. There's nothing wrong with being proud of being American, okay? Especially on a day like this when our president has led us to this trade deal with Mexico. There's Canada right on the deck and China right around the corner. It's easy to get into all this social stuff with Donald Trump, but as we always say, trade the agenda, not the man. Trade the agenda, and see, we're doing that, and it's pretty successful, isn't it? Right? The sad news this weekend was, of course, Senator John McCain passed away. Senator John McCain, he's like Trump, right? I mean, anybody that's followed John McCain, especially when he ran for president with Sarah Palin and stuff, he's kind of an interesting character, right? He's one of those like Trump in the sense that people really love him or they really hate him. But he was very frank, he was straightforward, and he was a good American. He was a real American hero. The world is short a hero today because John McCain passed away. What's interesting, though, is the outpouring of concern. It's funny. In 2008, about 80% of the people wishing their best to the family were calling him a racist, a communist. They were calling him anti-American. Remember when he ran for president? Remember the nasty things he got called? It's funny. All of a sudden today, when he's passed away, he was a great guy. He was a great man, right? Well, we always said John McCain was a great man, and we continue to say it. As we said, the world's missing a hero today. Now, that brings us into with these politicians and stuff, especially these politicians. Jesus Christ, how does anybody keep up with the crap they spew? You guys wonder why we don't get a lot into politics. Well, hey, nobody's telling the truth. You can't believe anything they say. Is it truth or virtue signaling? I mean, come on. When these guys don't, it's real obvious at this point that none of them believe what they say. They just say what you want to hear, and then they just roll with that. And and that's what's irritated us about this John McCain thing, is that these people that were saying such terrible things about him when he was alive, and now all of a sudden they're saying these nice things that he's passed away. Don't you think we should have treated him better when we could have done it face to face instead of standing over his grave? Right? Anyways, let's get back to the market because we don't like to dwell in politics too much. But, and let's kind of recap because it was kind of it was just really an up day. There's not a lot to talk about today. Netflix continues to make its big move. We've been talking about that Netflix short, and Netflix has just turned the tables here. But one thing we wanted to close the show with, and I'd like to talk to you guys about this because somebody finally asked the question, how come we're not talking about football? Huh? We're in week 3 of the preseason. College football kicked on. Hell, our home team, the University of Hawaii, for the first time in, God, it seems like forever, we won our first game of the season. We won it on the road. Why aren't you excited, Pat? Football's done. Okay, and I'll tell you 2 reasons. One, look, we don't really take sides on this standing, kneeling thing on the national anthem, right? We're one of those that we believe everybody as an American has a right to do what you want when you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody, attacking anybody, or doing anything like that. But what we can't understand is we are over a year later. We were over here over a year later, and nothing has happened with this kneeling, right? I mean, look at it. It's just the same crap. The NFL came out and made this rule, which nobody liked except the owners, right? About, they can stay in the locker room, or if they come out, then they can stand. Then ESPN jumps on the train, and, of course, they took the pussy's way out, right? I mean, we just won't show the national anthem. You know what I mean? Up until then, they were all this anti-Trump and all this for the players, and all of a sudden it's, we won't show the national anthem. If they want to be pussies, let them be pussies. But it's just this whole thing with the NFL that, we've been faced with this problem ever since that day Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Okay, nothing has changed. Nothing has gotten better. Nowhere closer to resolution. You know what? Screw the NFL. And then we've got this thing over in the college football, and this has really reared its ugly head. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody with this, but these are the facts. Ohio State, Urban Meyer. You guys know I'm a big Urban Meyer fan. Well, I was a big Urban Meyer fan. So it's funny. We find out with exactly, Jeff. You know what? I'm over it. I don't even watch football anymore. Don't even care. Plenty other stuff I can do at my time, but with college football, with this Urban Meyer thing, he knew all about this woman getting beaten by one of his coaches. He knew about the abuse. He lied about it in a press conference recently. Then he backtracked and changed his story. And then when he finally admitted to the whole thing, he never apologized to the young lady. He wrote a memo to her. He got a 3-game suspension. It's funny. Some coach over at Maryland got fired for this. How many guys have you seen fired for this, right? But it's Ohio State. I want you guys to remember, Ohio State controls the BCS. They always have. They are the top of the NCAA. They are endowments up the ass. The only reason that he wasn't fired is money and politics. And if that's what Ohio State believes is more important, then God bless them. I will never watch another college football game again. All right. So there you go. There's your opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's just so stupid. Exactly. You don't see them doing this stuff at their promos and stuff, do you, Samuel? Do you? No way. Nothing they do affects their paycheck. How come? It's not that important. It's why not important enough to give up a few bucks. Anyways, so look, before you guys start asking, because you guys know we used to be football fans. Hey, guess what? We're over it. Okay, no more football talk on this show anymore. And we suggest you guys too. Look, the way we teach these people a lesson is to hit them in their pocketbooks. The way we as fans can teach them a lesson is to not watch. Don't go on ESPN. Don't click anything sports oriented. Don't play fantasy football. Don't watch their shows. Don't tune into the games. Just ignore it. Okay. And you'll see things will change, right? Because just like Ohio State kept somebody who facilitated a coach being able to beat his wife over extended amount of time and only got a 3-game suspension, you want to hurt them, hit them in the pocketbook, okay? So, look, let's do a real quick recap because this is kind of a quick show. That Nasdaq all-time high over 8,000. Guess what? We shorted into it. You know what we got? Cojones of steel. Nah, yeah, and I mean, I know, look, football's a little more serious with people like me than it is with a lot of people, you know what I mean? But because I grew up on it and stuff, and it's kind of an important part of my life, it was big on Thanksgiving and stuff. It was important to the family and all that. But I can do without it, man. I'm not selling my morals for a stupid game. And then the Dow broke 2,600, which was pretty important. But look, that's not even close to the all-time high on the Dow. So really, we got one all-time high. We got one retaking a 2,600 level, and then we got the other one failing at 2,900. Here's your other big signal, and you hear us talk about this in the group. Take a look at these numbers. What do you see on the end here? What's that VIX at? Why is the VIX green? Green. The VIX, the fear indicator, the fear index went up on a day the market made an all-time high. Doesn't make sense, does it? Okay. So look, gang, let's yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I love investing, man. The office is so awesome. Thank you, man. You make the trade team look great. You guys in the office. But look, Nick, just like I Love Investing said, go ahead and pop that text with the word "go" into it, man. Go get you some. You'll love the program we have. It's fun. All our members will tell you we have a great time during the market day. We sink and swim together. You know what I mean? It's a great, we call it in Hawaii, Ohana environment. Ohana is family. We treat everybody like family from the top to the bottom. Nick, don't miss out. Go ahead and text that "go" to that number. Any of you that want to use that. Here. Let me help you out here, Samuel. Any of you want to get involved, text that number, go to that number, 808-468-8030. Okay, gang? And that'll get you. We still got the link too if you want to use that. That's enough marketing. So look, gang, it was a great day for the markets. It was a great day for the Nasdaq, the tech index, but we think it's getting overextended. So we went short on Twitter. We think Twitter's just a mess. Don't forget too, Jack has to testify again in Congress. And look, you can take sides on this, but the facts are they are censoring conservatives on Twitter. Okay. It's a fact. I've seen it. I've seen real threads that really show you how these conservatives, if you guys got time, Google it. Google conservatives censored on Twitter, and you'll be amazed at the articles you see. There's real proof, and it is real. So we're short Twitter. We think this little run up was euphoric. We think it was in tandem with the market. We don't think Twitter's worth anything that it's worth. We also think Jack's about to go up against the Congress with a little inquisition action, and you know how that handles. And we always love it when these millennial type CEOs get in front of Congress because they just get ripped up. They think they're inventing the game, but Congress shows them exactly how the game's played. So let's close the show with that. It was a great show. It was a great day. We'll get back at it tomorrow. We'll see how those shorts work out. We're real happy with the longs. You guys that are looking to play the gold reversal trade ideas, you might want to take a good look at gold because it's really at the point where it's about to make a big breakout. Okay. So we're positioned in it. If you're not, you know where to go. Anyways, so we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us.